students of +3 third year science. Our topic is known as DSE 3 about the caudal fins. Caudal fins is a general characteristics feature of fish. Fish possesses a fin in the caudal region or tail. If the fin is available in the caudal region, no doubt it is called as caudal fin. Due to presence of the tail region, we will call to them as also tail fin. Okay? In case of fishes, some fishes would not be possessing the the caudal fin in their bodies, like hippocampus tulda, which one is called as the seahorse, ସମୁଦ୍ର ଘୋଡ଼ା, ଏଟା ମାଛଟା, ତାର କିନ୍ତୁ ଲାଞ୍ଜ ନାହିଁ, and its tail is there prehensile. It remains as a twisted manner. And some your ray fish, stinging ray fish, you mark, tail is not prominent in there in its body. However, specifically at the tail, there is no considerable tail fin. That is lacking. In lieu of it, you find one sting is there. That is called stingray. That is the bottom dweller. Some fishes like these, they are not possessing tail in their bodies. But most of the species are possessing tails in their bodies. Tail is the steering organ of this animal. Fin must be held to change the direction. At the time of swimming, the tail fin would be held in change of the direction. We will know about the other two types of tail fins or caudal fins named as a deficercal caudal fin. Another one is a heterocercal caudal fin. But deficercal or protocercal caudal fin is the primitive type, but your heterocercal is intermediate type. But homocercal, these three types generally possessed by the fishes, but homocercal is more advanced in form. You must notice in the advanced group of fishes, especially in terrestrial group of the fishes. Homos is a Greek derivative term. It comes from the Greek dictionary. Homos means equal, common or alike. Okay, same. That means the tail which you can obtain at the distal part of the body of the fish, specifically at the tail region. That caudal fin, which one is called as or should be tail fin because it remains at the tail. And you mark two lobes are there. These two lobes are equal in sizes. You compare these lobes. Both the lobes are same. And these are mechanically supported by the fin rays. Specifically in case of the labiorota, in there you find there 19 fin rays. And centrally you find one fin ray. 8 fin rays remain at the epicaudal lobe and other 8 remaining at the dorsal caudal lobe. Okay? Just outside you find another caudal region. Fin also be there. That is called as also that fin rays is named as the outer or external your fin ray. Okay? Again listen regarding the caudal fin which was noticed at the distal part of the body. This one available at the tail region, so it is called as tail fin. It is otherwise named as your caudal fin. Due to possessing equal lobes, so it is called as the homocercal caudal fin. Centrally you find the fin ray. At its periphery you also find the fin rays. However, the fin rays are giving the mechanical support to the caudal fin in here, and just after the one which one placed at center to its periphery, you find 8 numbers of fin rays. Okay, in upper you find 8, at the lower you find the 8. Lastly, at the periphery, you also find 1 in each lobe as fin ray. Okay, that means 9 plus 9 plus 1. Total will be 19. 19 fin rays must be noticed in case of the labia orbita. These are bony by natures and leathery by textures, and due to that, the organism can able to change its direction at the time of exhibiting the swimming type of locomotion. In heterocercal, you mark there, in between these two, one must be larger, other must be smaller. In commonly, the upper one is larger, upper lobe, and lower one is smaller. You find such type of tail fin in case of the elasmum branching group of the fishes, like your dogfish, which one is zoologically called as the what? Called as the your shark. What? That is called as the no doubt shark. That is dog shark, specifically called as Scoliodon sharko. What is it? Scoliodon sharko. In there, epicaudal lobe is larger. The vertebral column which one traverses through it is also bent towards the upper lobe or epicaudal lobe. So, epicaudal lobe is larger in there. But lower caudal lobe is a little bit smaller. Due to smaller, the organism all the time moves towards the downward. Okay? They will be bottom level. And generally the vertebral column, or you can say that is notochord, bent towards the upward in case of the scoliodon, which one is called as Scoliodon sharkwa, or also be called as the cartilaginous fish or elasmum branching group of the fish. But in there you find the tail is heterocercal. But here the tail is homocercal. Example is known as labia orbita, catla, Srinus mirgala. In them, the tail possesses what? Two equal lobulated what? Caudal fin, which one is called as homocercal caudal fin. Homocercal caudal fin. Okay? This type of nature you find teleosteal group of the fishes. Specifically, they will be remaining within the order Osteichthyes. Osteichthyes. Okay? And you see different types of the orders also we can get, and that is called as the Cypriniformes. In them, specifically the caudal fins are homocercal by nature. But you compare this one along with the other, like the species, which one is called as Exocetus. That one also animals of the sea. That is the saline water organism. In Exocetus, the epicaudal lobe is smaller. Hypocaudal lobe is larger. You mark there the vertebral column, which one is called as notochord initially. That one bent towards the where? To the ventral lobe. So ventral lobe is larger, and upper lobe, which is dorsally present, the dorsal lobe, or you can say epicaudal lobe, that is smaller. In this species, you mark all the time the animal comes to upward. You show the upward locomotion by the swimming. But this animal very lavishly moved in the water bodies in same manner. It comes to upward, sometimes it comes downward, like this. Okay? And it is one significant character of your bony fish or Osteichthyes. And specifically, those fishes are possessing homocaudal fin or homocercal tail fin. Okay? It is more efficient than that of the others which are possessing diffuse circle are also possessing the heterocercal caudal fins. Okay? And today I shall explain you detail about the homocercal caudal fin. This is the advanced and most common type, and no, the homos term meaning is common or alike or same or equal. It is the characteristics of the large majority of the higher bony fishes which are belonging under the teleosteum. It is externally symmetrical. In this type, the original dorsal lobe or epicaudal is suppressed. Only originally the ventral lobe or hypocaudal lobe is greatly developed into a single or two equal and symmetrical lobes. The important point is here, the organism is a vertebrate organism and it belongs under the subphylum Vertebrata, under the phylum Chordata, and belongs under the group Craniata, division Lanthostomata, and superclass Pisces. This type of fish, or those kinds of fish which are belonging under the teleosteum, are possessing symmetrical lobulated caudal fin, which one is called as homocercal caudal fin. But hypocaudal fin is greatly developed as two or a single, no doubt, as a symmetrical lobes. But vertebral column is not extending up to the terminal part of it. Okay? And it is very short in comparison with the heterocercal tail. The terminal part of the caudal region all the time called as the urostyle. What is it? Urostyle. That is called as urostyle. The vertebral column, if it runs at the middlemost part of the body towards the tail, and that one at the last part, this one is called as urostyle. What is it? Urostyle. 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 Okay? Slightly upturned into the dorsal lobe in case of the salamon. Homocercal caudal fin is the characteristics of the fishes with a terminal mouth. You mark here, mouth is present in terminal position. And in case of the labio, you find the barbel cells to be available in the mouth parts. Towards the end of the snout, a pair of eyes also be noticed in its body. There is no ears or external pinna. Gills also be available in its head, which would be helping the aquatic respiration. And enclosed by the opercula. Each one enclosed by one opercula. Then this part is the head. This part is the tail. Before I stated to you, tail is the post-anal part of the body. Post-anal part of the body usually called as tail. Nearby the anus or anal aperture, you find one fin is there. That fin is called as anal fin because it is remaining at the base of the anus. Likely, if the fin is available at the tail, that is called as tail fin or caudal fin. Likely, it is present nearby the anus, it is called as anal fin. And this is the pelvic girdle of this animal. At the base of the pelvic girdle, you find a pair of fins also be present. Those fins are called as pelvic fins. These are comparatively smaller. But another pair of fins, which are very strong and stout and mechanically supported by the finlets, they are very efficient to go the water at the time of swimming. And these are the pedaling organs. No doubt, they would be called as the pectoral fins, because pectoral girdle is available in here. Those fins are pectoral fins, these fins are pelvic fins. But this fin, which maintains the equilibrium, but remaining at the dorsal side, so it is present at the dorsal, it is called as dorsal fin. That is also supported by the finlets. My question is not there. My question is here, the tail fins. And this fish possesses the homocercal caudal fin. Okay? And homocercal caudal fin is the characteristics of the fishes with a terminal mouth and it strokes the force the fish straight forward. The homocercal type has several variations. In cod and in tuna, these two types of fishes, the upturned urostyle of the vertebral column, and by that character, and these are also differentiated, and the fins which are available in the tail, that is called as also homocercal caudal fin. Okay? Then the homocercal caudal type has several variations, and you also notice in the cod and the tuna in there, and their vertebral column is reduced or absent, and due to that your urostyle is not so efficient to undulate to the tail regions. However, it there possess your homocercal caudal fin, but due to equal size, the terminal part of the vertebral column is straight and greatly elongated to form the isocercal tail. In case of your Phaeropsis, in there you find the vertebral column and fin itself becomes reduced and vestigial forming, that is called as your GP row circle tail. It is one diversity of the homocercal caudal fin. In Condorosteans means they are belonging in the what? In the Condoricethies, like your Polypterus, Amia, Lepidosteus, those are. The urostyle is a bit elongated and upturned, also with a or without an upturned fleshy lobes. This is called abbreviated homocercal. Okay, that is called as above the all abbreviated homocercal type. Most of these your variation you represent in the intermediate states between the heterocercal and homocercal type. Okay, and such type of abbreviated homocercal tail will be considered as the intermediate group in between the heterocercal and homocercal. Principally, you find three caudal fins or cercal fins. One is called as diphyscercal, second one is called as heterocercal, and third one is called as homocercal. But some intermediate forms also we can notice. Likely, in case of diphyscercal or protocercal, as well as in heterocercal, you find a group of the fish which are possessing very elongated tail, and both the lobes are equal. Okay, but towards the end point, there is no fingers, no what lobes is there. No lobes is there. Such type of the fin is called as isocercal. Isocercal stands in between them. Then you review the heterocercal tail-bearing fishes in there. Somewhere also your epicaudal lobe is larger, and the hypocercal caudal fin in it, you see the ventral lobe is larger. In heterocercal caudal fin, the epicaudal lobe is some cases are larger, and in that time the hypocercal caudal lobe is smaller. Due to such variation, those caudal fins are called as heterocercal caudal fins. These are very common among your sea living fishes or saline water fishes or cartilaginous fishes. In some cases, these are also be opposite, like your exocetus. In there, your ventral lobe, which one is called as the hypocaudal lobe or lower lobe, that is larger due to bend of the vertebral column towards it. While epicaudal lobe or upper lobe or dorsal lobe is relatively smaller. and that type of feature you find in case of the exostatus. So exostatus always tries to move upward, and it also exhibits the gliding movement that can glide just above the sea water for a long distance, likely 100 to 200 meters distance can be covered by their by gliding, by using their pectoral fins. Okay, but initially the force generally given by the ventral lobe of the caudal fin. Okay, but you mark the sharks, different type of sharks, and best example your Scoliodon sarcua. In them, you see the epicaudal lobe is larger due to bend of the vertebral column towards it. Ventral lobe or hypocaudal lobe is smaller. Due to that character, all the times that type of fishes generally moves towards the downward in collection of the food. Okay, and they would be bottom feeders. Immediately they can glide. They cannot glide. They can generally move towards the downward. They have no ability to glide in the air, but exostatus shows that gliding movement on the air. Okay, but here you find another type of feature of the caudal fin, that is called abbreviated homocercal type, and that one stands in between the homo and heterocercal caudal fin. Most of the variations represent the intermediate stage between the heterocercal and homocercal type. The protocercal or deficercal type of the caudal fin is considered as the most primitive type, and heterocercal as the intermediate stage, and homocercal represent the most advanced stage. During the development of the many teliostates, it is seen that the caudal fin that starts as a deficercal, subsequently it becomes the heterocercal, and finally assumes the homocercal conditions due to giving the variations form of the caudal fins, and they would be called as abbreviated homocercal caudal fins. The transition between the three types of caudal fins is in the most of the development history of the fishes, the significant and from the phylogenetic point of view. Okay, and you mark the caudal fin would be somewhere also remaining like this. You find the one crescent-like outlines. Okay, and it is also be considered as the homocercal caudal fin. Okay, these two types of features you find in the homocaudal fin normally, and they are supported by the fin rays, and fin rays are giving the mechanical support to it. Okay, and this is the total description regarding the different features of the your caudal fins and of the fishes. Thank you all.